Quick video on how to change or replace a compressor on a 2010 Mazda 3 2.5 liter engine. Wanted to make a quick video since I haven't seen one of these online. So the first thing you want to do is naturally jack up the car on the passenger side and remove all the coverings, and this will give you access to this side of the engine. So here we're looking at the crankcase, and here's where the compressor sits that I just recently removed. Well, it started raining because it's Florida, so I'll pause and I'll come back. Alright guys, take two. I am under the car. I'm looking from the front towards the back. I'm kind of laying down at the passenger side. So this is where the compressor sits, and there's these 4 bolts, 2, 3, and 4 that you have to take out in order for the compressor to just kind of slide out. It's relatively easy. I thought it was going to be much harder, but the first thing you got to do is get yourself an 11mm wrench and remove your serpentine or B-belt. And what you're looking for is you're looking for this pulley here, and there's videos on this. You are going to take the wrench, place it in here, and torque this clockwise, and that'll slide this down, and it will remove tension on the belt, and then you can just kind of slide it out. Make sure you make yourself a diagram like I have. So I'm laying on it, actually kind of improvised a bit, but this is what we were looking at. The compressor was gone. Tensioner, you turn this way, and then you remove the belt. So talking about the belt, this is something that I wanted to do for a long time for this vehicle, and I put it off because I thought it was difficult. But in reality is, the belt goes under the tensioner, over the alternator, underneath another tensioner, over another idling pulley, and then it goes under the AC compressor, wraps around the crankcase, the water pump, and it comes right back. So it's very, very easy. By the way, in terms of the belt, the one that I will be using as per some YouTube recommendation is this Continental, part number 4060-900. So I like Conti stuff. This is good stuff. So the first thing I did was remove the AC lines, and I'm going to show you what I did. By the way, the little bit of antifreeze that was there had leaked out over time, so there was hardly anything there when I opened the system, and I knew that. That's the only reason why I did it. So this is the low side, and this basically tucks in between the manifold here, like so. Boom, gets down there. So you can access a lot of the bolts from the position that I was in with very simple tools. No extensions. I recommend that you get yourself a couple of short sockets and long sockets, and you should be fine to do this install. Power connector gets removed from the compressor. So this guy sits like this on the car at this angle, kind of at a 45. So if you have really large hands, you might have a problem. My hands are, I wear medium-sized gloves, medium large. So the first thing is I remove the low side, which is this, the easiest bolt to get to. Then I move the line up onto the engine bay to give myself more room and access to this hole, or the high pressure. For this one, I used let me go back to my tools, and I will tell you it's an 11 or 12. I'm lying, it is a 10. So I used a 10mm nut socket remover, or socket, and with a small extension. And this one I did through the top with a wobbly. So as a matter of fact, here you go. Here's what I used: 10mm short with a wobbly, and a 10-inch or a 12-inch, and then another 10-inch extension. So I was actually working that bolt like so. Doom came right out. dot line is now tucked under the car, and so I have one on the top, one at the bottom, and that gave me all the room I needed to get through and complete the removal by removing these 4 bolts. So these two are very easily accessible right under the car. These you have to wrap your hands around the compressor. So if the compressor is sitting like this, then what you typically would do is you just put your hand around it like this, feel for the bolts, remove them. You can see them, you just have to do a little bit of groundwork there. As you can see, this compressor failed. The clutch, actually the nut that holds the clutch sheared off, and yeah, clutch is actually sitting here. So fell right off, no good. So I was lucky to find a rebuilt compressor. This came with oiled already, so that's something that you have to consider when buying replacements. But I'm very excited that what I thought was going to be the hardest task has proven to be extremely easy. Halfway done. Just got to put this guy back in the same way it came out, and then vacuum the system, which is why I have those manifold gauges and a pump. So I got this actually from AutoZone. I'm just kind of borrowing them for the day, but I will get a set in the future to have. These are always great tools. The best tool is the one that you always have available, right? So we'll do that and then put some Freon, and hopefully everything will work great. So there's a lot of videos on how to replace these, but I just want to go over the specifics on a Mazda 3 2.5 since I hadn't seen them. So for this car, some takeaways: you will have to replace or remove the serpentine belt. You will need this tool one time only, because everything else is accessible with your hands. There is no room to use power tools, so I just used a regular ratchet and some hand power to remove this, and that's it. Everything should go back the same way. Pretty straightforward, you know. So if you find this helpful, let me know. Sorry for the rambling once again, and have a nice one. By the way, the rain stopped, so let me get back to work.